Good evening, friends. This is Ranganathan here from the US. I'm very happy to be back with you for the last one in the 5S series, Shitsuke. Shitsuke is the last 5S, part 5, a Japanese thinking and practice by ABK Dosokai Tamil Nadu. Of course, this has helped me to also share the Golden Jubilee logo also with you during this presentation. 5S is a Japanese thinking and practice for creating a well-laid gemba. Okay, so where everything works smoothly, people understand what they have to do, and it's a presentation by M.R. Ranganathan, founder chairman of ABK, which is Dosokai Tamil Nadu Center, Emperor Award winner of the Order of Rising Sun Golden Jubilee, Golden and Silver Race 2005, winner of AOTS Golden Jubilee Cultural Exchange Grand Prize in 2009. Now I'm also sharing few photographs above. One is with the Japanese ambassador when he came to Chennai, when the consulate asked us to take the responsibility for conducting the pavilion for the International Book Fair organized by the government of Tamil Nadu. Then the center one is when I visited Japan exactly after 50 years to the company where I took my training as a port construction engineer from the Madras Port Trust. And to my left is my old friend Adachi. We both worked in the same site. Today he's running his own construction company, and he has come all the way to come and see me. Then the last side where you see Mr. Murata, the president of Yoshi Corporation. And since I went on the 50th year, every employee in Yoshi has signed this card, and he presented it to me as a memory of my visit on the 50th year. Now, again, the same old slide, Golden Jubilee year, the first meeting in 1975, 2025, we are heading towards the Golden Jubilee. Now we have seen Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, Seiketsu, and now Shitsuke. You can see all the first three, they take the same first kanji Sei, and then Ri, Ton, and so have added. Now here you can see Sei, Ketsu, and Shitsuke. They share the middle kanji and the last kanji. Interestingly, I would like to show on this slide. On the left-hand side, you can see it's an Australian cricket player who is put up on the feet up on the World Cup, which they have won after a very hard battle. And that's the way they're used to it. He doesn't feel anything bad about it. And that's not a part of anybody's Shitsuke in Japan. You can see on the right-hand side bottom, number of slippers laid out very beautifully in front of a tatami mat room. You cannot go on the tatami mat room with your slippers or shoes. And on the right-hand side top, you see people waiting for the signal to change at the junction so that they can cross. All this on the right-hand side are Shitsuke. On the left is not Shitsuke. That means it shows the untrained or undisciplined mind and individual, what should I say, character and mindset. Now, Seiri, then Seito, Seizo, Seiketsu, and Shitsuke. Now, let's see, what is the Shitsuke? Shitsuke, you may all be used to saying as Shitsuke is, they say, sustain or sustenance. But Shitsuke is habit formation, or make it a habit, or make it a second nature is what it really means. create a disciplined workplace where Shitsuke, which is discipline, training, and teaching manners, are there as the prime meaning of that. Shitsuke is usually written with Japanese hiragana syllabus as an original Japanese word called kokuji rather than the kanji characters derived from Chinese. Because the Japanese are very proud of their self discipline and doing things as a second nature, which will not disturb others and keep the place neat and tidy. Kanji is a symbol of body. The kanji is a symbol of body, and of course, here I'm showing you the kanji for Shisuke that's also being used. On the red, you can see within the brackets, the kanji is a symbol of body, self, soul, or mind. On the left-hand side, the symbol of beauty. Okay, there are two within that small bracket. You can see there are two kanjis. Left-hand side is one, right-hand side is one. The right-hand side is the symbol of beauty on the right. It means training or discipline as a child rearing or discipline in schools. Built it also means self-discipline or internalized self-motivated discipline. So, uh, unfortunately, the English translators of the 5 years and the many trainers of 5 years, they simply say it is sustained, and added to that, they have a sustenance award also in many places. So to go and see whether they're not following everything. Of course, many follow on the day of inspection. Then, when one looks up the word shitsuke, meaning discipline in Japanese, in Koijin Dictionary, a single volume Japanese dictionary first published by Iwanami Shoten in 1955, which is widely regarded as the most authoritative dictionary of Japanese. There are 4 definitions that are found for the word shitsuke. Discipline from the outside should gradually and naturally transform into a self-discipline as person matures. Discipline then becomes a continuous practice or a state of being. Now let's see what are the 4 definite definitions or meanings that are given in that Koijin dictionary. One, first meaning, to set up something intentionally or in advance. 2, to plant seedings in straight lines, because that's how in Japan, when they plant rice, the rice fields are all, that's the same thing like what happens in India also. They plant seedings in a straight line. 3, to develop good manners and courtesy through instruction and practice. 4th, a baste, sew loosely, to sew loosely with large running stitches to temporarily hold layers of fabric together. The basic meaning of all these definitions is something like to prepare in advance in order to prevent something from being bent. Perhaps most Japanese people mean the third definition when they talk about shitsuke. Nevertheless, it's always assumed that the meaning of the word might be originally derived from the 4th definition to baste. The basting thread is used as a trimming for clothing and removed after real stitching is completed. It is a basting thread used for temporarily holding the layers of fabric in place and will become unnecessary and will ultimately be removed. Child discipline in Japan, an important part of parenting, where parents pass on their values to their children. This is written by Nobuko Ushida, Executive Auditor, University of Tsukuba. She writes about child's discipline in Japan. It's a very important part of parenting. Like that, it is also important part of a manager or management's to inculcate this self-discipline into the people till they come into a thing like a basto thread, then that can be removed so it becomes a second nature, gets imbibed into the system. Because especially in a country like India, where uh, people join at any point of time, people join from universities, colleges, and people also join from various organizations, bringing in various cultures into one organization. So if all of them have got to work and internalize, together, a meaning like the loose thread that is holding all the layers together till it becomes one, is a better definition of Shinsuke. Okay, then in Japan, people talk about Joshiki. Joshiki is common sense. In Japanese schools, teaching children self control is as important as academics. Children are asked to do Hansei, to reflect, and not time out when a mistake is made like the West. The children are asked to do answer by the parents, by the teachers, to internalize what has happened, what is the cause for that, how do they rectify so that it doesn't happen again. Those sort of reflection on their own act or past action is what they call as answer. Answer is a part of Japanese life. Children are taught to listen more than talk. They talk and ask to read the situation before they talk. In India, when we are sitting in a meeting, even at the highest level, people tend to talk immediately, even without, because they have to prove. If you look at the television channel, there are people who are just wanting to cut somebody else and to make a point of what they want to say. Children in schools taught to first listen more than they talk and asked to read the situation before they talk. In Japan, there are different types of reading. You have to read the situation is one very important way children should read. Shitsuke means not just following the rules, but using the brain to recognize and respond appropriately to the 5S challenges. It means using common sense, Joshiki. And what is common sense? Okay, when we all talk about common sense, but what is common sense? I had a beautiful definition given by uh, the founder of Panasonic. Okay, uh, Panasonic creator writes a book uh, in which he talks about this one. Says what is common sense? Okay, you are sitting in front of the television. Uh, there is an announcement that is going to rain on that day, and you look through the window. People are carrying umbrella and walking out in the streets, and you think, "Oh, it's okay. I can go without an umbrella." That means you are not using your common sense. Common sense, you watch, you react or reflect depending on the situation, depending very appropriately for the situation. Act appropriately for the situation. The basis of social life and work life is to comply with established rules and regulations. In the workplace, work is done collaboratively. Not one man is doing the job. If someone doesn't follow the rules and regulations, it will cause confusion, and selfish actions are not allowed in a Japanese company. Not only Japanese company, any company, selfish actions are not allowed. But unfortunately, in India, uh, we take so many leave. Something happens, you take a leave. Religious, there's a function at home, you take a leave. How does it affect the other members of the team is something never realized. Shitsuke is a Japanese word having the combined meaning of education, training, discipline, and so forth. By Shitsuke, people learn the mindset to follow social rules, workplace rules, and or business etiquette, such as being punctual, greeting each other, and or other keeping work standards. In Japanese schools, teaching children self-control is as important as teaching academic content. Okay. As I was uh, talking about self-control, uh, I had a friend by name Miyara. I used to go and stay with him in Japan, and his house was on a hill. And then one day, we both, Miyara, myself, his wife, we came down and in a car. Then thought we'll go and pick up the children. There were two sons from the school. We drove on the way. We saw the first son uh, come running. We just called, Ken, Ken, Ken. He didn't say anything, just waved and then he ran. We were wondering what is happening to him. Then we went further down. Then we saw the smaller boy, Jun, coming. Then we said, Jun, come into the car. We also waved him. So we made a U-turn. When following the children, we went and ended up at the bottom of the hillock. Then both the children came. And we asked, "Are you not tired? Why are you not stopping? We offered you a lift in the car. We could have gone. We are going on." The children told, "Today we have taken both of us when we are leaving the school to run up to the bottom of the hillock from the school." So it's a what you call as ubiquity. We have made a um, yaksoku or a promise to each other that we both will run. So that one is what is important. Then getting into the car and going off in a relaxed manner. This self-control on the children that they should follow what they have promised is absolutely very amazing. Taking turns, cooperation, looking out for the needs of others before oneself are constantly reinforced in the schools as omoyari. Selfish behavior, looking out for oneself at the expense of others, is punished by social disapproval, not by any other punishment. So, everybody will look at that selfish guy and he'll be slightly sidelined from the total group. I mean, that's the biggest punishment. Somebody gets sidelined from the group. It hurts them more than any other uh, punishment that could be given. In addition, consensus building is practiced at school and in all social activities. The group decides, the group takes a call, and then to realize Shitsuke, teach rules, etiquette, etc. over and over again. Start an easy way, such as everyday greeting. In all companies, the first thing they say, you have to wish people as you go into the company. I remember this again, I've been telling. I went and worked in Iraq for 2 years for the government of Iraq as a piling and foundation engineer. The first day I went to the site, I was working with people from different groups. Palestinians were there, Egyptians were there, and Iraqis were there, and all these guys from the uh, some of the poorer countries in the Middle East, they were there. And then I just saw one of the guys from Egypt. We call him as Masris, the Egyptian. He was sitting down there. I asked him, "Please come." His name is Nabish. I said, I asked him, "What's his name?" He said, "Nabish." I said, "Nabish, Nabish, Ain Tal." So he said, "No, Ustadi, you're not a good Ustadi. You're bad. Muzain Ustadi." So I asked, I'm meeting you for the first time. You don't know me. I have to ask for your name from somebody else and then call you. You are saying you're a bad supervisor or a boss." I asked, "What's the reason?" He said, "When you entered in a Islamic thing, if the man who enters wishes the people who are already there, irrespective of their stature, position, power, or anything, you never even said Salam Alaikum to me when I was sitting here. You are the one who walked it." I said, "I'm very sorry, Nabish. I don't know." From that day onwards, I followed this in my side. Then I thought, if I can follow it in Iraq, why not I follow it in my office? People who have been working with me for the last 50 years, 60 years, they all know when I enter in my office, in my site, I have the first guy to wish all of them. So it is an etiquette that you follow, and it happens by really working in a situation like that. But how do you sustain? Okay, so sustenance or sustain is not the right way to transform Shitsuke. Okay, Shitsuke here is to teach the necessity for greeting each other. Okay, and if you're working in an office and then they practice Horenso. Horenso is consisting of three words: Hokoku, Renroku, and Sodan. Okay, Hokoku is to report or inform the person who has asked you to do a job. You inform him the current status of the job. This is very important. Then contact or communicate with your peers. Okay, Renroku. So you talk to them. Okay, you need some help, talk to them. You tell them what is your current status of the project. You're all working together. So share information. So contact, communicate is very important. Third is Sodan, consult. If you got a problem, don't feel shy about it. Talking to your own group, your own peers, or somebody outside who has done the job. So, ho ren sto is a part of Shitsuke in your life when you're working in a Japanese company. No, nowadays I don't see whether. So when we went as a trainees, every day morning, by 6 o'clock, whether I have to go to the office or something, we used to have assistant manager there. He will say, "Okay, please come," and he will check which are the room guys have come. If you're not there, there will be a call for you to asking. His name is Miyaji. So uh, exercise is called Taisho. So everybody forgotten his name Miyaji-san. We all used to call him as Taisho-san. So Taisho is the part of Shitsuke. You play a music, they play a music, then everybody, you do the exercise. This is a part of school life. It's a part of uh, office. I mean the Gemba. But today I don't know whether it is still practiced in the office, but some offices inside office they also do the small bend exercise to make yourself fresh, okay, to get rid of all the tiredness in your body. So Shitsuke is, some sort of a discipline that you bring in. Then what you call as Genkan Shitsuke. Genkan is the entrance, okay. The traditionally Genkan involved in entering a Zen temple. That means gateway, the entrance to a Zen temple is called gateway to profound knowledge. As you all know, the Zen Buddhism, they are very famous for many of their learning that has happened. Later, samurai began to build these entrance areas in their homes, and today they become a mandatory at all homes. Okay, if this is the thing you can see. Uh, there is always one step down. That's where we enter. One step above is where you see all the slippers. They are all the house slippers or office slippers that you wear. All your shoes, everything, you leave them at the racks there and you wear the house slippers. And these house slippers, you leave it outside the tatami room, you walk only barefooted there. Or if you go to your toilet, then there is a toilet slipper. You have to leave this slipper out and then go there. So that way you make sure the dust and dirt from one area does not travel to the other area. That's a part of Shitsuke that is there. That's a Genkan Shitsuke is at the entrance where you enter the gateway of profound knowledge. Leave your dirt and dust outside and wear that thing and then go inside. Okay. Then socially conscious Japanese. Now, this is nobody is telling them. In Japan, people wear masks in many cases to avoid passing on germs to other people if they catch cold or any infectious disease. On the other hand, many people in Japan put on the mask in public places even if they are not feeling unwell. You all remember we were having this COVID. People have to be forced to wear this mask. That means the mask wearing Shitsuke was not a part of our life. The moment somebody said, "There's no," you all think I don't catch. Uh, I'm one guy who unfortunately got stuck with COVID. And then in that process, I lost my voice very much. I have to struggle sometimes to speak continuously. Now, this mask uh, culture has become a Shitsuke in Japanese life. So, uh, and then the culture building. In most of the English translation, Shitsuke is sustained, which can be misleading, and that leads to uh, sustenance awards. Again, misleading. Shitsuke is not about sustaining the first four S's per se. Remember, Seikitsu is the process for sustaining Seiri, Seiton, and Seizo by well-established process and procedure. Shitsuke is something, your internal discipline that you have to internalize. It becomes a part of your life, whether it's a school life, work life, anything. But Shitsuke is rather fundamental culture building process that makes sure people see purpose and are motivated to act on the rules of foreign. Okay, look at this family traveling on a motorcycle. Today we have to be forced for them to wear helmets, only two people to travel, all by law and by law abiding agencies. But again, they have to catch them, find them, all that. Today in India, how many people drive their cars, drunken driving, hit people, and then you can see really shocking scenes of uh, people are being hit on the roads, and then people bring in pressure to make sure the cases are nullified. This is a very bad culture that we are developing in the area of public transport and private transport, and the culture of um, not driving with drinks on you, not in a alcoholic state you should drink. This is it's a very fundamental, but this fundamental Shitske is missing in many countries, including in India, in many parts of the India. In the 5S workplace, Shitske means following the process that been determined by the first 4S activities: Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, and Shitske on a regular basis, not just when things start getting out of hand. This is accompanied by scheduling, checklist, and evaluation from the self-discipline of in Japanese people. Scheduling ensures that tasks are performed regularly and on time. Checklists that describe in detail that required tasks are posted and actually checked every time it is performed. This case should manifest itself into deeds and habits, such as, for example, washing hands. It's interesting to say in Toyota, uh, they say every supervisor or engineer who is going to the Gemba must wash their hands at least 3 times, which means if you're going to Gemba, you should get your hands dirty and you should wash. Okay, it's not that it's not a jolly walk. You have to have a look with you have to walk with an eye for ways, things that are not being performed as per the standard set, all that. So washing hands is a very, very important habit. And using safety equipment and proper working clothes, respecting the work time, safety, punctuality, prioritizing team over self, following standard operating procedures, and contributing with creativity to improve the standard. This care means that one processes and attitude internalized workers voluntarily carry out the 5S activities without having to be reminded, having to be checked. Shitsuke means not just following the rules, but using the brain to recognize and respond appropriately to the 5S challenge. It means using common sense. As I talked to you, Joshki makes a big difference in any work life. We can keep Shitsuke and common sense in mind when we practice 5S. Joshki is taken very seriously in Japan. With their emphasis on group harmony, the Japanese see Joshki as a basic common ground that all members should share. The Japanese people are very, very sensitive about having Joshki. Without the Shitsuke, even most carefully constructed systems of the first 4S cannot be sustained for long. By following the process consistently and looking for and eliminating issues proactively, we can work more smoothly while practicing 5S in the organization and enjoy a more productive work environment. This eliminating issues proactively should become the part of your shitscape. And if you put a lot of effort to build a workplace, the first 3 years, and set standards with the fourth as Seiketsu, if the workplace personnel do not make these efforts as a second nature and follow Shitsuke, it's common sense that all their efforts will be muda, it will contribute your unproductive way of working. Now, never give up spirit is needed. The people should never give up 5S efforts with a sense of complacency. A Japanese proverb says, if you feel you've reached, you already started your descent. Okay, so people who are very actually follow the 4S, they should never think, okay, we have done the 4S, so automatically everything will be worked well and we will sustain the organization. No. The moment you feel you reach the top, you already started your descent. Never take any of the following stance or similar approach. Oh, the area looks good now. Please don't take it. This area that looks good now can anytime go out of gear. We removed truckloads of stuff and now we have all this extra space. This extra space can anytime be occupied by unwanted, unnecessary things. We do not need to go forward the next four steps. Okay. Now, if you do Sairi and you don't think you need the other four steps, the trouble has started there. If you stop now, freed up space will be squandered and unnecessary items will creep back into that area. Please don't forget. So you need a never give up spirit when you're practicing fivers. Okay. The never give up spirit must be developed in you by Shitsuke. The fivers sustainability activity. Okay. You make an improvement and then you should prevent a fallback. Only then you can keep pushing forward. Okay. People get bored if no changes. Need to develop mechanism to make staff excited and motivated to keep on moving forward. So that's a responsibility of the management. Measure improvements with proper periodical monitoring. Okay, it is bound to happen in any organization after that. Oh, I've done everything well, and to provide challenges to them. That's the work of the managers, supervisors, and the managers. Provide challenges. So one thing, they don't fall back. At the same time, they keep moving forward. That is sustenance. Okay. In this case, success is measured by visible high employee morale and active involvement of all. Mindset change in organizational culture. Better teamwork with smile and laughter. Where there is a cheer and fun and laughter, okay, automatically things will be better. This is what something I always talked about in my construction site. My boys will always work with a lot of cheer, enthusiasm. This is something that's a job of a leader. You have to keep motivating. And then when I moved out of construction industry into software, I did about 26 years in construction industry, 25 years in software, where I worked in a private, twice I worked in private organization. From a government, I moved into twice into private organization. The second organization, what I created and sold it to another organization. Then I started as another software company on the request of a Gujarati group. Of course, I had to retire, and now still I keep working. So if all these things, I always tell them, keep your cheer, okay? Don't give up, and then there will be challenges. Take every challenge as an opportunity. I've done that when I was working for Japanese companies. Okay, so this is basically my. It's not that I'm only talking about a class or a lecture. This is something I personally believed and did in my all organization. People who have worked with me, they all know about it. And continued involvement practice of the first 3 years plus Seikits. And within the Gemba, have an improved communication because this will happen the moment you start following Shitsuke as your second habit. Now, fibers at a glance, theory, reduce number of items to manage, like it or not, need to manage it if it is there. Separate what you need and what you don't need. Throw away what you don't need. Mentally use a process for this. Saiton, considering safety, quality, and efficiency, make it easier to manage a way to keep things what you need and in an easy to use state. Place it in a way that meets the three conditions of placement: the place, how to place, and display. Three T. One, what to store, where to store, how much to store. Frequently used items are to be placed, close and heavy items to be placed in an easy to pick up place and easy to pick up way. Okay, and the heavy items must always be placed at the bottom, which is again is common sense. Visualize and enable judge good or bad at a glance without searching. One of the things this theory and Saiton help you to do is to get rid of the elimination of search, which is Sagasu. The Sagasu is being eliminated. The search is being eliminated in both the Seri and Saiton. And Saizo, cleaning and inspection, refreshing mind, no breakdowns or defects, measures taken in short time, always clean and inspect at the same time, leading to early detection and prevention of dangers and abnormalities through measures for thorough measures for difficult to clean areas and source. Uh, Identify the areas and give a thorough cleaning on that. Seiketsu, standardize and fix Kaizen results. And Shitsuke, make Kaizen as a habit. Acquire the habit of Kaizen voluntarily by observing what has been decided correctly. I was always impressed with some of the uh, companies which have gone textile companies, where I see these small girls, school final and just 10, maybe 18 years, they come back so enthusiastically with cheers. Say, I want to show you our Kaizen. I go and see. Okay. What is that that makes them feel so happy about Kaizen? They say, this is something I found out there's a problem. And I've decided with my team members and implemented it. I see the results. This is Kaizen for them. Amazing amount of information you see. And they always say, 5 and Kaizen, they're interlinked. Observing what has been decided correctly. Maintain the above 3 S and keep clean state of workplace. Okay. After finishing a job, take away anything not needed. This is something you call anybody to your work as a thing. They will do all the work, but leave everything uncleaned or not thrown away. You have to tell the day, please take away what has been done. This is all not needed. This is something that should become a second habit when somebody comes and does the thing. Yeah, and place things in order and clean them so that next job can start immediately as a second nature. This is very important. Fibers is not a tool, but rather a full concept that builds a foundation for any professional business. Introducing the two first S, Theory and Seito, result in orderly, effective, and logical workplace. Adding a third S, Seizo, makes the workplace clean, functional, and attractive. These three S's are good housekeeping practices and create a visual control, which is a wanted result of the any 5S project. The fourth S, Seiketsu, is about sustaining the results of the first 3 years through a well-defined process with flexibility to changing work conditions and situations. Okay, this flexibility to changing work conditions in situation uh, is very important because people are supposed to read the situation and react to the situation. And then the fifth is Shitsuke is about building discipline, a work culture in organization towards the idea and practice of 5S as a second nature. Individual perceptions of 5S differ widely. Very often it is wrongly perceived as a mere tool for tidying up or cleaning. Somebody calls it 5. What is 5S? This is for housekeeping. Sorry, it's not a housekeeping tool. Okay? These are not indeed essential elements of Seiton Seizo, but do not capture Ono's and Shige Shingo's original idea of 5S. Seiketsu is integral part of Seiri, Seito, and Seizo. And Shitsuke is integral of Seiketsu and a higher level of characteristics of organization culture. Try not to make 5S a goal itself. It could probably a good idea never to introduce or reintroduce 5S as a tool for your company. Focus instead on the leadership part, building the right discipline and teamwork, build the culture in your organization towards the objective of 5S. 5S as a concept and practice to create, maintain, improve an efficient workplace organization with high levels of visual control, with efforts on continuous improvement. Organization should give room for creativity of the workplace in improvements. While practicing 5S, managers to motivate, inspire the workforce. And the workforce must take every opportunity as a challenge. Okay. And then they should try to face the challenge and work towards winning over the challenge. This is very important to sustain 5S efforts in an organization. In many countries and industries outside Japan, including India, 5S is referred to as just housekeeping that assists operational efficiency. In Japan, work is equal to operation plus improvement. Okay. Shigoto plus Kaizen. So work is operation plus Kaizen, improvement. And and that improvement must be continuous. If understood and used as a philosophy or methodology, as an organizational culture and mindset change in non-Japanese companies, it helps an organization to achieve continuous improvement, long-term success, and sustainability. Unfortunately, we take Shitsuke is equivalent to sustainability, a wrong way of projecting Shitsuke. While the first 3 years are outcome of training and practice, the last two certainly needs a culture and mindset change. Leaving awards and medals, which are not the ultimate goal. The aim of 5S should be seiketsu efforts and cultural mindset change of Shitsuke in any non-Japanese company. Though I've written as Indian companies, I'll call it as non-Japanese companies. You see, there is another meaning for the words Shitsuke. That the meaning has a lot of more to do with disciplining others, such as poorly behaving children, than it does with self-discipline and sustainability. Changes are Chances are they may only be partially correct, in which case you have the perfect opportunity to explain the merits of attempting to truly understand the incredible wisdom behind Japanese words. So unfortunately, we so often take it for granted. Is written by Ron Pereira, a complete meaning of Shitsuke article. Again, I repeat that chances are they may only be partially correct when they talk about sustain and all that. In which case, you have the perfect opportunity to explain the merits of attempting to truly understanding the incredible wisdom behind the Japanese word. So we often take them for granted. We don't use Japanese words, we use them in the English translation and leading up calling Shitsuke as sustenance or sustain. In conclusion, I wish to request do not replace words of wisdom with words picked from a dictionary starting with the alphabet S, which do not reflect the Japanese thinking. The 5 Japanese words are easy to pronounce, so teach the thinking that is behind the words also. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm sorry uh, because I had some issues with my throat uh, because of COVID that has stuck into me. I had to take my time to make myself all right. Still, I'm not my. I take my time to present this to you. Thank you all for being with me and being with us, ABK, those who Tamil Nadu. My other trainer, Mr. Dr. Balakrishnan, and Mr. Mukundan, they all offer a number of areas on Japanese thinking, words with Japanese thinking. We are trying to project ourselves into the Japanese training. Kindly listen to opportunity to attend our training programs. Be happy. Mr. Bhupal and my colleague will be able to reach reach us at ABK Dosokai Tamil Nadu Center. You can see us in the website, right? abkodeschennai.com. So we'll be there. Thank you very much. Have a great day and wish you a very happy weekend in a few days' time. And I hope the Indian um, election excitements will be over another 2 days' time. Okay. By 4th, we should know who are the leaders of this country. Thank you.